Can you feel the excitement in the air? The Toronto Maple Leafs are actively scouting players, and the stakes have never been higher. With two intriguing teams from the Pacific Division in their sights, the question on every fan's mind is, who will don the blue and white next? Join me as we dive into the latest developments and explore the impact these potential trades could have on our beloved Leafs. Don't forget to subscribe and like to stay updated on all things Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in the thick of it as we approach the NHL's trade deadline, and there's a palpable buzz among fans. With just days left to make strategic moves, it's no surprise that the Leafs are casting a wide net. But it's particularly intriguing that they're keeping a close eye on two surprising teams from the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Los Angeles Kings. Brad Treliving, the general manager, is under immense pressure to address some glaring gaps in the roster, and the choices he makes now could have significant implications for the team's playoff ambitions. The fact that Toronto has two scouts attending games involving these two potential trade partners speaks volumes about their intentions. So, who exactly are the Leafs looking at, and what does it mean for us, the fans? Let's start with the Vegas Golden Knights. They're facing some challenges with injuries to key players like William Karlsson and Shea Theodore. This could open the door for the Leafs to swoop in and potentially snag some talent. And one name that stands out is Nicholas Roy. At 27, he's a versatile player who could fill that much-needed third-line center role. He's not just a warm body. He brings scoring potential, toughness, and an ability to win face-offs, all the qualities we need to bolster our lineup. With 7 goals and 13 assists this season, plus a Stanley Cup ring from 2023, he could be just the player to help propel the Leafs forward. And at $3 million for the next 2 seasons, he's a budget-friendly option that wouldn't require sacrificing our top prospects. Then there's Tanner Pearson, another intriguing option. This 32-year-old veteran, who won a cup with the Kings in 2014, is now with Vegas and could offer some scoring punch to the Leafs' third line. Although he hasn't been as prolific as Roy, with 9 goals and 10 assists this season, he would bring invaluable experience and depth to our roster. Plus, at just $775,000, he's essentially a low-risk, high-reward option that could pay dividends as we make a playoff push. Now, shifting gears to the Los Angeles Kings, the focus seems to be on their blue line, particularly Vladislav Gavrikov and the rising star Brandt Clarke. Acquiring either of these players would be a game-changer for the Leafs, especially as we look to solidify our defense. Clarke, at just 21 years old, is already making waves with 4 goals and 21 assists in 52 games. He's a smooth-skating, two-way defender who could eventually take over for Morgan Riley. But let's be real, the price tag could be steep, considering Rob Blake will likely demand a hefty return for a player of Clarke's caliber. On the other hand, Gavrikov, 29, offers a different skill set. He's more of a shutdown defender, known for his physical play and shot-blocking ability. This season, he's managed 3 goals and 16 assists while racking up 112 blocked shots. He brings a gritty presence that could complement our existing defensive core, though his contract of $5.75 million might be a sticking point. However, if he can help us secure a deep playoff run, it could be worth the investment. As a die-hard Leafs fan, I'm both excited and anxious about these potential moves. The stakes couldn't be higher, and Treliving's decisions will directly impact our chances of finally breaking the playoff curse. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. While I love the idea of adding a player like Roy or Clarke, I also worry about what it might cost us in the long run. With just 10 days left until the trade deadline, the Toronto Maple Leafs are right in the thick of the NHL conversation, and understandably so. The spotlight is on them not just for potential trades, but also for the looming decisions surrounding 2 key unrestricted free agents, John Tavares and Mitch Marner. Initially, there was hope that all parties could find common ground and hammer out extensions before the March 7 deadline. But it seems like the tides have turned. NHL insider Chris Johnston recently shared his thoughts on TSN First Up, and let me tell you, it's a bit of a mixed bag. He mentioned that it's unlikely we'll see any extensions or significant trades involving Tavares or Marner in the next couple of weeks. That's a tough pill to swallow for a passionate Leafs fan like Me. But here's the kicker. Just because things might be stagnant right now doesn't mean either player is packing their bags for Toronto. As free agency looms, both players might be feeling the pressure to explore their options. For Tavares, he appears more inclined to stay put, likely driven by his desire to remain a Maple Leaf. Marner, on the other hand, seems open to testing the waters and seeing what the market has to offer. This makes sense when you consider the upcoming increase in the salary cap. There's just so much uncertainty in the air, and both players want to gauge their value. Now I can't help but wonder, who stands to gain more from waiting? Marner and Tavares, or the Maple Leafs themselves? On the surface, the scales tip in favor of the players, but let's not overlook the team's perspective. If the Leafs extend both players and face another early playoff exit, it could feel like history repeating itself. Having the flexibility to pivot could actually be beneficial for the franchise. It's not fair to place the blame solely on Tavares or Marner for past playoff shortcomings. The entire team shares that burden, but with the current landscape, it wouldn't shock me if neither player signed an extension right away. Johnston did leave a glimmer of hope, stating that things could change in the next 10 days, and as a devoted fan, I can't help but hold on to that hope. I want to believe that the organization is doing everything it can to negotiate deals that will keep our stars in Toronto, but at the same time, I'm realistic about the challenges that lie ahead. When I think about the long-term future of the Leafs, it's hard not to feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, I want to see our core players locked in for years to come, fueling our championship dreams. On the other, I understand the need for flexibility and the potential benefits of exploring new avenues. It's a balancing act, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As we approach this critical juncture, I can't help but reflect on what it means for our team's chances. The decisions made in these next few days could set the tone for not just the remainder of the season, but for years down the line. The pressure is mounting, not just on the players, but on management as well. I want to hear from you, the fans. What are your thoughts on this situation? Are you hopeful that Marner and Tavares will sign extensions, or do you think it's time for the Leafs to consider other options? And you? What do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. This is a crucial moment for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and as we gear up for these next 10 days, the excitement and anxiety are palpable. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the latest developments. And don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Together, let's navigate this pivotal moment in our beloved team's journey.